The opinions expressed by the host and guest on this program are solely their own and do not represent the views or opinions of Blind United. We strive to provide diverse perspectives and discussions on our platform, but the opinions expressed should be understood as personal viewpoints and not reflective of Blind United as an organization.
It's time. It's time for
coffee time.
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 And here is your coffee time crew.
Well, good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. And as always, welcome back to Coffee Time with Blind United. I guess we can call this Testosterone Friday because he just got me and my brother Pedro in here today. Good morning, Pedro.
Good morning. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Happy TGIF.
That's right. Thank God it is Friday. So
yes,
hopefully everybody got their weekend plans together. So anyway, let's run over these groups that we got for today. We got a DOR counselor comes on once a month, and today just happens to be that day. So if you got a DOR case or considering opening a DOR case, bottom line, this is your opportunity to get the answers directly from a DOR counselor. I mean, he's one of us. He's a longtime friend of mine, and he was around when we was, tossing the concept of what we're doing now around. So he understands what we're trying to do at Blind United, and he's here to help. He wishes, just like I wish I had somebody like him, when we were going through DOR and all that stuff, just to, kind of give us the ins and outs, what we can do, what we can't do, how we get stuff, approved for certain things, and, how to deal with a counselor that doesn't really want to cooperate and, let you do your plan versus doing their plan for you, So anyway, it's a good group. It's a way to get a lot of information, especially if you're dealing with DOR. So anyway, that's at 2:00 today, Pacific time. And then later on, we got our movie night, descriptive movies, as always, every Friday night. Tonight, we will be playing 23 Blast. For those that may not know about that story, is my understanding it's a true story about a young man that lost his vision when he was in high school and found a way to play football, being blind. So hopefully, it sounds like it's a pretty good inspirational story. So come check it out and, see what we got going on at 6 p.m. Get your snacks and stuff together, all your little movie stuff that you like, popcorn, M&Ms, whatever it might be, and join us for a good descriptive movie. You seen the movie, Pedro?
No, I heard of the story.
Okay.
I heard good things, and then I heard some people's opinion on that, and it was a negative opinion. But this story was on the news. I followed it a little bit, but that's dope. We get to talk about it. Well, you get to see it. I never seen the movie. I heard about the story and stuff.
Right. Well, I've never seen it either. I mean, I was told it was a pretty good movie. I just like, the inspiration behind it. The kid lost his sight, but he stayed determined and found him a way to play football. He liked playing football, So, I'm looking at it from the angle, that this guy was able to do what he likes to do. And, I don't like to put barriers on us. You know what I'm saying? I believe that we can do whatever we want to do. We just got to find a way to do it, So, and that's what this is showing. So, we'll see. Like I said, I haven't seen it either, but I will definitely be checking it out real closely tonight. So, again, if you want to come check that out with us at 6:00 tonight Pacific time. So, anyway, this first article we're going to jump into. I have been saying this for, like the way I say that, huh? I have been I've been saying this for quite some time. I mean, we need guardrails on AI. We need to learn how to use it before it learns how to use us. But most importantly, we got to have guardrails. I mean, because there's a whole lot of stuff going on with AI right now. So anyway, let's just play the article and then we'll get into our discussion afterwards.
Good morning, Blind United crew. For our first cup, we're looking at a major issue shaping our future, a growing divide in how our government is handling the rise of artificial intelligence. A fierce debate over how to manage the risks of artificial intelligence is creating a stark contrast in governance across the country. While state legislatures are scrambling to pass laws to protect their citizens, the U.S. Congress, after an initial flurry of interest, has become bogged down, leaving a significant policy vacuum. This legislative gap is being filled by states who are unwilling to wait for Washington to act. In state houses across the nation, lawmakers are taking concrete steps. States like Colorado have passed landmark legislation aimed at preventing algorithmic discrimination in major decisions like hiring and housing. Meanwhile, dozens of other states have passed laws requiring the clear labeling of AI-generated deepfakes in political advertising, a direct response to fears about the technology's potential to disrupt elections. These state-level actions are targeted attempts to address the immediate, verifiable harms of AI. In sharp contrast, comprehensive action in Washington, D.C. has stalled. After the public splash of ChatGPT, members of Congress on both sides of the aisle agreed on the need for regulation. However, that momentum has largely faded. This inaction is attributed to several factors, including the sheer complexity of the technology and a powerful lobbying effort from the tech industry. Big Tech has flexed its political muscle, successfully arguing to many in Congress that broad regulation would stifle American innovation and undermine economic competitiveness with global rivals. This has left Congress focused on other priorities. While some Republicans are debating fiscal policy and tax cuts, a key battle over AI is still happening, albeit behind the scenes. In league with tech lobbyists, some lawmakers like Senator Ted Cruz are reportedly trying to insert preemption language into larger must-pass bills, such as budget reconciliation packages. Such a provision would nullify all the new state and local safeguards on AI, effectively wiping the slate clean of the progress made in the states. This debate places the speed of innovation directly against the need for public protection. We invite you to not only share your thoughts on whether AI should be regulated at the state or federal level, but also share in the comments any personal experiences you've had with AI, good or bad, that make you think about this issue. Now back to the Coffee Time crew for their thoughts.
Well, I mean, again, like I said up front, I've been saying all along, we got to have some guidelines and regulations behind this stuff. Otherwise, it could, potentially get out of control. We've already got a whole lot of bad actors out here already playing with AI and doing a lot of different things that, that are just scandalous. I mean, they creating all these different stories and stuff like this that are false. I mean, people do it on their own. But when they do it with, an AI model, a lot of times it sounds really, really, really convincing. You know what I'm saying? You really got to do your research and check it out and make sure, But again, I mean, come on. I mean, just like they got the AIs for, where you can, still have something going on with your late relatives and, memorial kind of stuff. And, then they got these other ones where, you can have an AI companion and all this. I don't know. To me, that kind of stuff is really, really dangerous, But on the other side of that, when it comes to, giving it the knowledge of how to, and it's always learning, right? So whether we give it the knowledge or not, it's eventually going to learn how to, start doing things on its own. and that's where the real danger, in my opinion, lies. I mean, we call it science fiction if you want to, but I mean, it's right here in front of us now. Go back to the Terminator and Skynet, and iRobot and whatever the lead uh, uh, AI in there was. I can't remember what her name was, but I mean, again, we've had movies, we've had stuff that's kind of showed us, and I believe the movies because again, AI has been around for decades. It's just we're just now getting access to it. So they already know the potential, but now they just want to be able to run all around all willy nilly and just let it do what it does, and that's not a good thing. I mean, that's my opinion, Pedro. I mean, I know you got thoughts on this as well. So
Yeah, I see your point about the Skynet and it potentially be going that way, but I see it being the fault of humans, the way they will train these AIs that will give us drastic bad results. Yes, I'm glad that some states started taking it seriously. The federal government needed to take it seriously, but not just the federal government. This is something that the world court needs to start developing laws for the entire world on artificial intelligence because we need to know what's happening in other countries and stuff like that and the way they're implementing because other countries are experimenting with military and AI applications within labs. So they're
yeah,
testing stuff like that. So we need us to try to do it through the world courts over all countries. But we've been putting the world court down. This administration has been saying bad things about the world court and other things like how are they gonna assert their ruling if they don't have an army and other degrading type of comments. We have a world court to make it work for all of us in this planet, and this planet is our home. And if we want to use AI to benefit mankind and benefit our social societies, we need to start making guidelines and rules because if we leave it up to the multinational corporations to do it, they're not. They're gonna cut corners. They're gonna abuse power. They're gonna get all the information and data that is oil in the 21st century. So we need to do guidelines across the entire world, not just here in the US, because we're not the only ones developing this type of technology. And the first step is artificial intelligence. The next step is general intelligence. And that's one level up.
you know, I don't know if you know, but they had a movie. It's an older movie too, about the war scenario. I don't know if you ever seen it. It was called War Games. It was by Matthew Broderick. Starred in it.
No, I've never seen
He
that
was
one.
he was actually so young it looked like he was a teenager, right?
Hmm.
But anyway, he was a computer hacker. I mean, we talking about the old school dial up modems and stuff, right?
Hmm.
So anyway, he found a back door into what he thought was a gaming company. And then once he hacked in and started playing games with it, uh, national security and all of them, they start
Mm.
coming after him because they noticed that they found that he had hacked in.
Yeah, they
And
probably
bottom
find it
line,
back to you.
right? But again, it just showed that whole thing. And
Hmm.
uh, uh, I mean, the only way that they were able to get the system to understand that an all-out nuclear war because they was getting ready to trigger one
Hmm.
was by playing tic-tac-toe.
Oh wow, wow, that's crazy. And and we have to remember that too. We have hacking groups. We know people have heard like Anonymous, and also we have state acting hacking groups that they hack for governments like Iranian. Just attacked Truth Social. They were saying, but even Russia has teams that are state acting teams, and I'm pretty sure we have teams for our cybersecurity, and we have hacking teams that are probably working on technologies and hacking tools. So, artificial intelligence can be used for that, but also we have to take account our privacy and protect these infrastructures of AI because of uh, an actor that has malicious intent is will be able to get in and even probably change some parameters of the artificial intelligence or the generative intelligence and cause damage. Because if we start putting these in our infrastructure and start letting it do certain things, we need to guarantee that it has an encryption that is most likely, and I'm not going to say 100% because nothing's 100%, but at least protected to the 256 standard right now. We cannot leave our public infrastructure. And we see examples across all types of sectors. The PIH hack, we have other even credit keeping record companies getting hacked as well. And they're losing. Even AT&T 2 years ago, losing our social security. All this data needs to be secured in a 21st century infrastructure. That's why I emphasize that we let that opportunity pass with the Build Back Better, because some of that cyber infrastructure was in that bill as well.
Well, I mean, again, I agree with everything you said. I mean, AI, I've also said this from the very beginning. This is a remarkable tool, not just for us in the blind community, but for society as a whole. But again, when it's being used for the betterment of mankind, you know what I'm saying? But again, it's also a tool that these bad actors can get a hold of and go in and really do some damage. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I mean, think about how many phone calls and stuff you get now that are actually AI generated. You sit there and talking to something you think sounds just like a human being, but it's a robot. It's AI, and they've been using AI for years, but again, we're just getting our hands on it. So, you know, and then you got your boy Ted Cruz, that thing he's trying to slide into the big beautiful bill.
Yes, that's a
uh,
shame that that dude has been bought by the corporation.
yeah,
That's why he wants to take that. It's not okay.
10 years though, Pedro. 10 years. Imagine how far AI will advance in 10 years.
I know, and this is the problem because they're on the so quick fast track. Let's make the most better badass AI, but the
Well,
reality
it's
is
just like when remember way back when we had the dot-com thing where everybody was trying to do the dot-com thing. Well, AI is the new dot-com. Everybody wants to have their own AI model, and everybody, all these tech bros are investing money into creating all of these various types of AI. I mean, again, we got to have some regulation on this stuff, man. I mean, it's just
and it needs to be world regulations because like that, even the United States has to fall in line. But I'm telling you, we're destroying our credibility with this person. This their president is destroying our credibility across the world. That he has undermined even the World Court, has thrown dirt at the World Court, even though that's a utility, a tool that we need to use for the entire world to follow those guidelines. You
right.
know what I mean? And we're this administration keeps undermining so many efforts of the world trying to get together to do something like the G7. You know, he went over there to complain about about his friend Putin and Russia not coming instead of having our uh, uh, our
Interest.
our interest in first, our America first interest.
Yeah,
He was not
yeah,
about that.
yeah. We were not a priority in that, so.
He
But
showed that.
anyway, we're going to be talking more and more about him today anyway. So, right quick, Monica said good morning. So, good morning, Monica. And
Good
then
morning, baby.
let's go ahead and jump into these promos and we'll get into our next article.
If you'd like to know more about Blind United, you can visit our website at blindunited.org. You can email us at info@blindunited.org. You can call us at 909-846-8825. You can follow us on Instagram at Blind United Interest Groups. You can follow us on X at Blind United 22. You can watch our YouTube channel, Blind United. You could join our Facebook group, Blind United Interest Groups, or you can follow our Facebook page, Blind United. Blind United.
Yo, Coffee Time crew, it's about to get live. Blind United's throwing it back, 1995. On July 26th, the place to be. From 1 to 6, come and party with we. Just 20 to 5, that's all you pay. To vibe with the drive the 90s way. Tootsie Roll, Running Man, and the Roger Rabbit. Biggie on the track, and we gotta have it. Stone Cold The Rock, bringing all the hype. Snapbacks, cross colors, the 90s type. So call your crew and step through the door. Blind United's 90 jam, can't ignore. Saturday the 26th, it's going down. Where the love is loud and the beats are style.
Hell, I got to figure out what I'm gonna wear because I can't even remember what I used to wear back in the '90s. But anyway, come on and hang out with us, man. We're gonna have a lot of fun at our '90s party, at '90s trivia. A lot of different stuff going on, '90s music, '90s attire, and all that good stuff. We got a nice meal for you, and that includes your water and soda, soft drinks, and dessert, all that good stuff, and it's all included in the price of admission. So come check us out. It's only $25. You know what I'm saying? So
I'll come
anyway,
dressed like the Matrix, like Neo.
I mean, I could do that too. I don't know. I might not want to wear my leather trench and all that heat.
You're right on that one. Hey, I might wear a neon blue and neon orange or something.
Okay, well,
Right
neon colors were big in the '90s, so it's very possible. So, but anyway, this next one is I mean, we're not getting a straight answer about our involvement. I mean, again, well, we're involved in this thing over in between Israel and Iran. But we're hearing a lot of different stories about the effect that the raid, the bombing that Trump ordered. So anyway, let's listen to the article and we'll talk about it for a little while.
Hey, Blind United crew. Let's grab our next cup and turn to a major story developing in Washington, where a battle is brewing between the White House and Congress over access to the nation's secrets. The Trump administration has announced plans to further limit its sharing of classified information with Congress. The move comes in response to the recent leak of an intelligence assessment which concluded that the U.S. attack on Iran was not as successful as President Donald Trump had publicly claimed. This has ignited a fierce debate over transparency, national security, and partisan politics. The controversy began after the intelligence assessment was leaked to the media earlier this week. In response, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt initially blamed the leak on an anonymous, low-level loser in the intelligence community. However, a senior White House official has now stated the administration believes the report was leaked after being posted to a secure system used for sharing classified intelligence with Congress. Citing this belief, the administration now plans to restrict the scope and detail of future briefings. The immediate impact of this new policy is being felt on Capitol Hill right now. The Senate received what was described as a tense and limited briefing on the Iran situation yesterday. The House of Representatives is scheduled for its own briefing today, with many members from both parties expressing deep concern that the administration will withhold critical information, hindering Congress's ability to perform its oversight duties. This is not the first time the White House has been accused of keeping congressional leaders in the dark, particularly Democrats. It has been widely reported that before the initial U.S. strikes on Iran, the Trump administration contacted top Republicans for a briefing, but key Democratic leaders, who by protocol should have been included, were not informed until after the attack had already occurred. This pattern of partisan information sharing has severely eroded trust between the White House and a large portion of Congress. This conflict between the White House and Congress over classified information raises fundamental questions about government transparency. We invite you to not only share your thoughts on the right balance between national security and congressional oversight, but also share in the comments how important you think it is for both political parties to have equal access to intelligence. Now back to the Coffee Time crew for their thoughts.
Well, and I mean, I agree with that statement right there in the end. I mean, they are equal branches of government. You know what I'm saying? And therefore, they should have equal access to this intelligence. Now all of a sudden you want to try to blame, the leak on Congress. How do we know it ain't one of them people that's in the White House with you that don't really agree with everything you're doing? I mean, this stuff is crazy. I mean, he wants to limit information. It's just, he wants to have that power. He thinks he can do whatever he wants to do. And it's just totally wrong. I mean, and then he's sitting there telling me, oh, well, it was, devastated. We set their program back years, but yet they got satellite imagery showing that, before but him and his loose mouth, oh yeah, well, we're, just keep your eyes open. Where you tune in to CNN or whatever, you'll find out in about a week or two or whatever. All you're doing is broadcasting to people what you're getting ready to do. And satellite imagery showed that they had over 12 vehicles outside of that main nuclear site a day before the bombs hit. So, the stories about, them or Trump not, bottom line, they got the uranium up out of there.
Yes, they had reports for months already. They knew something was coming. The reports were that they did had enough time, and the nuclear product that they have that they didn't destroy was in those labs that got moved. But top Iranian officials has been killed. Imagine that in the United States if they did that to us. Scientists has been murdered too. Innocent scientists that are there for work has been murdered on these attacks that supposedly were preemptive, and that just fancy wording for we wanted to strike first. Look, number one, Trump ego is hurt because he's like, well, I want to do it better. I want to do it that I want to be successful so bad that he was failed, that he came out in front of his intelligence and against his intelligence officials that told him the opposite what he was claiming, that they did the biggest damage ever. But the one that could have probably leaked that report or that information, Tulsi Gabbard. He went on national TV across all types of news organizations and called her dumb. She don't know what she's talking about, even though he's the one that put her in that position and said she's the smartest one for that position. Now, if he don't want to listen to his own intelligence
Let's not
apparatus,
forget to say that he boldly said, excuse my language, but he boldly said they don't know what the fuck they talking about.
so yeah, just to put it bluntly, guys, and that's how he said it. And look, if you put these people in positions, and like Ed always says, I'm not the sharpest tool, but I'm gonna surround myself with the toolkit. And supposedly he has surrounded himself with that toolkit, but every tool he keeps picking up and doesn't work for him, he throws against the wall and calls it names. What
Yeah.
kind of childless activity is that? That's child activity. And he's a so-called strong leader, alpha beta, alpha male, and diapers is what I was telling
Well,
somebody
he
earlier.
claims anyway.
He claims, and that's what they want to kind of push their narrative, guys. If you think this dude is strong, you're greatly mistaken. He goes along with what the generals were saying in 2016 when he got elected, and now he's surrounded with himself with yes men. And if he doesn't like what those yes men are saying, like Tulsi Gabbard, he's quick to dismiss her and call her names and belittle her as a woman in a strong position. You know.
I mean, he does that, especially when it comes to a woman. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he has respect for any woman. You know what I'm. But again, just everything that comes out of his mouth, it's a lie. I mean, everything that he's done, oh, it's bigger, it's better, it's the
Mm-mm.
greatest ever. It was better than anybody in history, and biggest crowds, the biggest, this, biggest that, biggest man, dude, you are not that great.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and we need to know what's happening, and especially in war zones, because we have multiple times has been proven to us the the inhumane things that happen,
Yeah.
even if it's in the Middle East with other countries like with Israel and the Palestinian people, but even ourselves. Um, I don't know if you remembered, almost 10 years ago, WikiLeaks came out with a video where the soldiers were shooting at the crowd and were laughing about it. The
Yeah.
government
Yeah.
did not like that at all. That they still were trying to prosecute old boy. And Trump was saying, I was going to give him a pass. But I already knew from the beginning that Trump is a liar about that, because Trump doesn't like reporters. And we could be seeing it with the lawsuits he's been doing with this new administration that he's in now. We could see it across all boards. When Khashoggi ended up getting chopped up over there in the Saudi Arabia over there, that American reporter got chopped up.
Right.
It's now the intelligence is that he got set up like that. Um, and the Iranian bombings and stuff, they killed the person that was in talks with the U.S. between he was the lifeline between us and the Iranian government. They killed him. You know, when they're trying to they're trying to have communications. You're gonna kill that dude? Really? It tells you what they really want to do.
I mean, again, they just want to, flex their muscles, and all this. I mean, like I said, again, Trump and his ego, again, no matter how much you want to say he's an anti-war president or whatever, well, dude, you just threw us right in the middle of this thing.
Yes.
And why did you do that? Because you did not want Netanyahu to get the headlines for being the one, right? Now you want to jump in there and upstage him.
No, no, no. It's not that. You know what it is, Ed?
I'm
It,
listening.
statistics say, like Netanyahu, that's why this whole thing got launched over there, because he's under fire, right? And his poll numbers are down. But look, it's known for the poll numbers to go up, like George Bush, right? Those numbers go up in polls and in time of war. The poll numbers go up. He wants that. He believes by him doing this to Iran and maybe going and stepping into war, because he's been agreeing. Trump has been saying we when we heard it from his own mouth. So if he likes to overpass everybody in his position in government, it comes down to his word. So I believe we are active because he says we. I can't
Right.
believe Casey Gabbard. I cannot believe the House because he's undermining the House. You can't believe anyone else in position because he's undermining everybody. You know, and I bet that he believes this can prevent from falling more in the polls.
But see, here's the difference. Right quick, Tisha
Mhm.
says good morning as well. So good
Good
morning,
morning,
Tisha.
Tisha.
Numbers go up when there is a legitimate reason to be in war.
That's true.
Okay, this is not that. This is not going to help his numbers. Matter of fact, his numbers have already fallen even more since he launched that raid on them, the bombing raid on them.
Yes, yes,
You
yes.
know what I'm saying?
And
So,
the reason
uh,
why is the negative view right now on that issue. He believes he's on the right. That's why he's going on it like that. Even though Israel, Netanyahu, and Trump, they're on the wrong side right now about that issue that happened in the
and
prior with the
again,
Palestine people.
if and Netanyahu had, he's had a hard on for, Israel for years, decades. You know what
Decade.
I'm saying? So again, let them have that war. If they want to have that war, let them have that war. I mean, again, just like the negativity of the thing that went on with the Palestinians. I mean, again, it wasn't right the way Hamas came in and did their thing and bombed the folks in Israel, right? No, that was wrong the way they did it. But again, look at how many decades that Israel has been treating the Palestinians wrong, right? So it was, but again, this is not our war. You understand what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Hmm.
All it is willing to put the whole world at war behind one country,
And
and
it's
they
illegal.
and it's that country's ego that keeps getting itself into a position where it needs America to come save it.
Yeah,
You know,
and you would have think they would have learned from their history and what has happened to them in the prior 19th century, because there's heartbreaking videos of kids and getting their arm amputated, no supplies, no painkillers. It is sad to see women getting shot for trying to get food, and it's a horrific scene that was going on over there. Now with the Israel and Iranian, we don't need any soldiers' boots there. Israel's counting that we have their back, that we are willing to put boots on the ground, and that's what they want. And you know, when you have someone that backs you up, no matter what, you're gonna try to press that line because you're like, I got backup. Now, if they were on their own, they might not boast so much like that and try to boast out and stick out their chest and poke on their neighbors.
well, I mean, I get it, but again, another reason that they do this, people don't want to talk about this part. Israel has got a lot invested within the world banking system, and they can kind of control the purse strings, if you will, borrowing money internationally and all that kind of stuff. So,
Yes,
bottom line, they're going to show Israel favor just on that fact. You know,
yes, the APAC is one of the biggest lobbyists, or if not the biggest, and uh they have bank to back them up. I forgot the lady's name that gave Trump $1 million, and I think after that in 2016 ended up moving on his term in 2016. He moved the embassy to Jerusalem, the U.S. embassy, and then I think Israel declared that their capital or something like that. But that's a move that Trump did on his first term. I think that angered some of the people in that Holy Land, is what I call, because there's three different religions right there. They are there, and it's a sensitive part of the world. It's a sensitive issue, especially when you're trying to divide and just give the entire part to just one. You know, this
right.
is Holy Land. This is a situation you have to take account, and it has to be delicate, and all parties need to see it, not just from one side. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise,
Right.
this won't get resolved. It needs to be, and as the United States, we could have been that overseer and been that middle ground, but we're not being that. We're not being that, and it's
Not
shameful.
not with this administration.
Not with
Most
this
definitely
administration.
with this
Well,
administration.
even Biden. That was my critique about Biden and Kamala. They didn't really
Well, I
talk
mean,
about that. They
it's
were
always
backing
an
up
issue.
Israel.
I'm being honest. It's an issue, regardless of who is at president,
Yes,
because America is just one of them countries that we're going to back Israel regardless, right?
yes,
And
yes.
it should not be a blanket, policy like that. No, I'm not going to defend you when you me. I'd
Yeah,
have been
because
done. I'd have been done with them when they started, all this stuff that they've been doing to the Palestinians. No, I'd have backed away from them right there. No, 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 no. That's
Yeah.
inhumane what you're doing. It's totally wrong. Whoop, whoop, whoop. You got to find a way to you done took all of these people when you took that piece of land back. You pushed all of these people into that little 27 square miles strip of land. You know what I'm saying?
Gaza Strip is what they call it.
Yeah, the Gaza Strip. That's what they call it. You know what I'm saying?
Call it
So, I
an
mean,
open
again,
air prison nickname.
well, pretty much. I mean, but at the same time, the land itself, I guess, is valuable as far as whatever they, farming and stuff like that. And that's why Israel wants it back. Number one, they want it for that reason, but also they just don't want the Palestinians they don't want to share a border with them.
They don't
You
want
know what
to.
I'm saying?
They don't want them to have them in an equal footing because
Right,
they're like they're second class citizens. They have a different ID. They have a different type of looking license plate, so the Israel army or authorities can tell who's who, and they could pull whoever they want. And most likely, you already know with law enforcement, they target certain communities, and that's
right,
probably
right.
one that they targeting. And think about
So,
living in a place like that where you're allowed to go certain places at certain times, and some places are off limits.
right, right. So, I mean, it's crazy. So, anyway, we are at that time, so we're gonna move on to the next article right after a couple more promos. We'll be right back with you. Did you know Blind United offers free training in assistive technology? We call them interest groups. We offer training in JAWS, NVDA, iPhone, iPad, as well as Meta Ray Bans. We also have groups like support group, cooking groups, and crafting groups. There are also groups for entertainment like movie night and RS game night. For more information about all the interest groups that we offer, just email us at info@blindunited.org or visit our Facebook group, Blind United Interest Group. We would love to have you be part of the Blind United crew.
You can go to customcane.com. That's custom with a K, guys. And what Custom Cane does is they sell cane and cane accessories. It's like Burger King. You can have it your way. You can get a pink cane, a blue cane, a rainbow cane, a Broncos cane, a Chargers cane, a cane with the Braille alphabet, a cane with your name on it. Whatever you want, whatever type of handle you want, whatever type of tip you want. If you want an aircraft aluminum cane, if you want an all-terrain cane, telescoping cane, any type of cane, Custom Cane has it.
Well, I will recommend Jimmy and Custom Cane. He's my one-stop cane shop. I've been buying canes from Jimmy now for, I don't know, 10 years at least. Got several canes from him. They've always been really, really good canes. And this last one I got, I'm loving it. That all-terrain cane, y'all, man, that's a monster. It's a little heavy, but again, it's a monster.
Oh man. Well, the combination, that all-terrain cane, guys, you can lower that handle and make it short for indoor use, or you could extend it if you're hiking,
Right,
or like a Metrolink station, and those platforms are short, so the longer visual tactile you're able to get the feel. I like to say visual because that's the way I'm seeing is with my cane.
right.
And the further, more reaction time, more better decision making. It's pretty dope.
Right, right. I mean, I love it. I really do love it. It's my new everyday cane. So, like I say, check them out. And again, you can go to customcane.com. And again, I always like to throw this in at the end. Jimmy is also the founder of You Cane Give Initiative, where he helps people get canes around the world that can't normally get a cane. And all the money that he makes at Custom Cane goes towards that mission. You know what I'm saying? And we help him out with that as well. So when you show up at any of Blind United event, bring a cane with you for You Can't Give. So anyway, this one here, this one here is crazy. So just a little, transparency. I use AI to do my research. And I have now trained my AI to do the research and bring back, stuff that is fact checked and, verifiable stuff, right? And I wanted to do an article on Trump and the headlines. I mean, I don't know if you've seen him, Pedro, or not, but where he's now supposedly suing all of the judges in the Maryland Supreme Court. But anyway, I mean, and I heard this from some reputable, what I believe to be some reputable, media outlets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Come to find out it ain't true, Pedro.
Mm.
Check this out. I mean, the article in so when I regenerated this, it basically well, you'll see. Check it out, and we'll talk about it on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Blind United crew. Grab another cup as the Coffee Time crew gets into this final article. For our final cup today, we're examining the very real and intense conflict between the Trump administration and the federal judiciary over immigration policy. A startling story has been circulating about the administration taking the unprecedented step of suing federal judges in Maryland, but it is essential to separate the facts from fiction. Following our research, we can report that this specific lawsuit has not actually been filed and appears to be a piece of misinformation. However, it reflects a genuinely contentious and unprecedented relationship between the White House and the courts. The factual reality is that the administration has been repeatedly challenged in court over its efforts to speed up deportations and limit due process for immigrants. Civil rights and immigration advocacy groups have been the ones filing lawsuits against the administration, not the other way around. In response, federal judges across the country, including in Maryland, have issued orders and injunctions that have temporarily blocked some of these policies, citing constitutional concerns over due process. This has, in fact, been a major source of frustration for the administration. This frustration has led to a verifiable pattern of sharp verbal criticism from the administration aimed at the judiciary. The president and White House officials have frequently attacked what they call activist judges, accusing them of political bias and of overstepping their authority to undermine the president's agenda. While these are political attacks, not lawsuits against the judges themselves, they represent a significant break from the traditional respect shown by the executive branch towards the judiciary as a co-equal branch of government. This is where legal experts have raised alarms. Constitutional law professors like James Sample of Hofstra University have described this pattern of rhetoric and the administration's testing of legal boundaries as an erosion of legal norms. The core concern among these experts is that these actions, while not a direct lawsuit against judges, are intended to intimidate the judiciary and undermine public trust in the court system as an independent check on presidential power. So, while the story of suing judges is not true, the story of an administration in conflict with the judiciary is very real. The separation of powers between the president and the judiciary is a cornerstone of our democracy. We invite you to not only share your thoughts on the current tensions between the White House and the courts, but also share in the comments your view on the importance of an independent judiciary. Now back to the Coffee Time crew for their thoughts.
Well, I mean, here again, we're, when we was talking about in the last article about how, the Congress and so on, they are an equal branch of government. So is the judiciary. They are an equal branch of government, right? So he does not like the fact that these federal judges, even judges that he appointed, are turning against him and ruling against him. He's doing all of these emergency filings with the Supreme Court and stuff. And I mean, he's winning a few of them in the Supreme Court, But in the lower courts, the appeal courts and stuff like that, federal district courts, he's losing. He's losing because he's wrong. But like the article states, he basically is testing the limits of his power, and the more we let him get away with, the more he's going to push that envelope and try to get away with even more. So I applaud the judiciary and standing up to him. I mean, even more and more people. I mean, I've seen now where some media folks are standing up against him. I've seen some of these law firms now are standing up against him. So again, I'm glad to see people are finally taking a stance and standing up against him. I just wish, Congress and the senators would stand up against him, and because what he's doing, again, he's just trying to consolidate all the power he can to the White House. The more power that he has centralized at the White House, the more stuff he's going to be able to do. And the next thing you know, we're going to be stuck with him for the rest of our lives if we continue to let him have his way. So I say keep up the fight, keep pushing back on him, and make him bow down and realize that he don't have the power he thinks he has. I mean, I don't know if you heard this the other day, Pedro, but he literally said, I think I rule fairly.
Oh, yeah. His language is showing you the type of person he has, the type of mentality he's in. Also, I think his mind is degrading. He's up there in his age. Not ageist either, but to put it truthfully, that's what's going on most likely. But yes, he is undermining our judicial system. He's undermining courts the way he's trying to assert power to his executive branch and try to put a level down the court system, our Congress, and even our House and our Senate and stuff. So him trying to rule and it's crazy because I've been saying that the pendulum swings back, and the more he pushes to the right, the further it goes to the left as well. So he should be careful, and Republicans should be careful trying to give this person, Trump, that used to call himself a Democrat, a Republican, or independent. He didn't even know where he was at in his politics. He's been dealing with politics, but he doesn't stand for any side. He stands for the billionaire class, and Republicans letting them slide and letting them push that line don't understand that when the ball comes to our court, it's gonna go further. You know what I mean? And it could be even a blessing for us because he's pushing this line. But let's hope we get to that point, because the way he's going, the language he's using, when it comes to war or even comes to trying to tell us that he's been doing a good job, he goes, I've been ruling well, instead of saying I've been doing a good job. Because let's get it understood, that man never had a job in his life, a freaking job in his life, ever.
I mean, again, no. Has he worked for anybody other than, the Trump organization? No. I'm not going to necessarily say it's not a job, but when you sitting up on top like that, it's more about just barking orders.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? You're not actually doing any physical work.
And we
You
can
know what I'm
tell.
saying?
We can tell he ain't doing no physical work.
You know what I'm saying? So, but again, this stuff is just, I mean, it's out of control, man. I mean, and I really, really hope, I've said from day one when he got elected the second time, man, number one, my first prayer is that we still have a democracy in 4 years. Number two is, and it seemed like it's going to the direction, for my number two, which is he's going to screw up so bad that, when midterms roll around, he's going to lose the House and the Senate, and then he's stuck. And then once, and chances are people are going to be so pissed off that in 4 years, yeah, we're going to vote him out. We're going to get another Democrat in there. And if we got a Democrat if we got all three houses like he's got right now, oh, Lord, Republicans are in trouble because, like you said, when that pendulum swings back, all that stuff that he wiped away with the stroke of a pen, you can trust and believe all that stuff is going to be brought back and it's going to be made law.
Yes, yes, and even the end of that pendulum can even be AOC for president. Never know. And people, since
But
upcoming,
did you
she's
see
been
what he
fighting.
said? He
Mm.
said, he literally said that we should we should elect Jasmine Crockett as president and AOC as vice president.
Damn,
You don't want that, partner.
he
You do
doesn't.
not want that. Okay,
Mm-mm,
that would
mm-mm.
be the Republican Party's worst nightmare.
Nightmare,
If them
exactly.
two people got in the office, oh Lord.
Well, he can't see it because the man that had a casino and ran it to the ground, two casinos at that.
Well,
We can't.
but
We.
but but hold on. How stupid is that to build one casino and then build another one across the street?
And no one probably somebody did tell him this is a bad idea, but we know him. I know what's best. I'll do the big better bill.
I mean, come on, man. How you gonna create competition amongst yourself? That don't make no sense whatsoever.
Hey,
You
hey, I
know.
know where he got his education from. Trump University.
Okay, and that's probably why he's pissed off at Harvard because they wouldn't let his ass in. You know, regardless of how much money he got.
Hmm.
So, but again, all of this stuff is just totally ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? This man is just, and the sad part about it is the worst thing about all of, besides everything that he's doing to our society, the worst thing is we can't trust nothing coming out of the White House no more.
Mm-mm.
We can't trust, what we're being told about what's going on over in, Iran. We can't
Even the
trust.
studies from the vaccine on oh boy, the Kennedy boy has
Man,
been taking all that information off the website, the studies, the results, you know. So it's like even the White House Spanish page has get taken down just to show you the type of person he is and what is in his mind and what he's trying to do.
I mean, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were, they said, well, I might need to get a benefit letter, right, from Social Security.
Hmm.
Well, that ain't gonna happen. I can't call them no more, and the website is boo boo.
Yeah, well,
You
they
know,
have upgraded their website. It's got a little better, way better, because it was
well, I
like a
mean,
year
again,
ago.
I
I don't
haven't
know if
been
you've
on it
been
in a
visited
while.
since last year. Yeah.
I haven't been there in a while. Plus, now I got to go through. I can't remember my password and all that other kind of stuff. So that's a big old long drawn out process
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
yeah. We'll go ahead and do that because they ended up having me change my stuff too. They were like, "Oh, you
You
need to
know.
update."
Yeah, well, in that plus they want the two factor authorization kind of thing. Authentication stuff, and there's a
Yeah,
whole lot of different stuff going on with it. But
yeah, yeah.
again, it's
True.
just they are messing up everything.
The
Everything.
process.
You
Uh
know,
huh.
you're supposed to be doing when you make improvements. You're supposed to be doing things to make it easier, not harder.
I know, I know. Even in housing, we have a housing crisis, and he's taking funding away from housing for seniors and disabled people. That's us in the blind community, and we do have people in the blind community that supported this man. But I don't know if you guys were supporting and behind this type of policy. And
Right.
you might even need to stand up and say something. It's all right to disagree with this man. I don't
It
agree with
is.
everybody 100% at all. And I don't
No.
expect somebody to agree with me 100%.
Well, I mean, even me and you, my brother. I mean, we sit here, we work together almost every day, but we don't 100% agree on everything. I mean, that's just a part of
Hmm.
life. You know what I'm saying? So, right quick, I want to make sure because I do not want to hear nothing out of his mouth later on. George popped in and says, "Happy Freak Off Friday."
Freak off Friday, George. We know where your mind is at. What was his nickname? What was his nickname again?
What was that? Sparkles.
Precious. Oh, Sparkles. Hey,
Yeah,
Sparkles. Nice having you
yeah,
in our comments. Please like,
yeah,
subscribe, all
yeah.
that good stuff, guys. It does help. and it's been helping. Our viewership is going up. Our subscriptions are going up, guys. Thank you for supporting. We love bringing you these stories to you, talking about how they relate to blindness, or even regular topics that we all need to know about.
I mean, we'd love to hear from you. Let us know what you like to hear about. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no problem about doing other types of articles. You know what I'm saying? And just know, again, whatever you hear, it's going to be true and factual. If we can't verify the story, we're not going to put it out there. So just know that. I mean,
and if it's coming out of Donald Trump's mouth, believe he's lying.
It ain't gonna work, so. But anyway, again, everybody enjoy the rest of your weekend. Don't forget to come check us out at 2 o'clock if you got any concerns about your DOR case or interested in opening a DOR case. And then join us a little bit later on in the evening at 6 o'clock and enjoy a good descriptive movie. Again, tonight, the movie will be 23 Blasts, about a blind young man finding his way back to the gridiron and being able to play football again as a blind teenager. So come check that out with us, and enjoy your weekend. We will see everybody again on Monday morning. So until then, everybody have a great day and a great weekend. See you on the next one.